If a parent or parents discover that their child has been drinking underage, first and foremost is be firm, make it very clear to the child that there are consequences for your behavior, no doubt about that. But making it clear to the child that there are consequences is quite different from being judgmental. Being judgmental is akin to saying to the child, you are no good, you should not be behaving like that. That's quite different from saying to the child, we love you, we care for you, we support you. However, this particular behavior is not appropriate, and for that there are consequences. Now the consequences, again, it depends upon the family context. It could be removal of pocket money for a certain period of time. It could be grounding the child for so many nights of the week or weekends or months. Again, the way in which the parents handle this needs to be responsible, and it should not be draconian. In other words, what the child has to realize is that the parents are not reacting out of emotion, but are saying to the child, this is the consequence for your behavior, therefore you need to learn not to engage in that behavior any further. Now, one of the difficulties is that if the parents begin to respond to the child judgmentally, and in many senses it's a shock to the parent to discover that the child is now engaging in underage drinking, they become emotional. And often what the child picks up is not so much that I as a child have done anything wrong, but look, my typical mum and dad, look how they're responding. Look, they're angry, they're aggressive with me. It's their problem, not mine. And so the message that the child receives from the parents is actually, it's their problem, not mine. Sure, I'll suffer loss of pocket money or be grounded for the next few weeks, but so what? My parents are too conservative. Look how they responded. Look how they reacted. And the message should be, it's not so much that we as parents are responding emotionally negatively towards what you're doing. We are concerned about your future. You must realize that for you to engage in certain behaviors is going to have consequences for you. But if as a parent, if one day you receive a phone call, maybe late at night, from your child saying, Mum, Dad, please come to fetch me. I'm as drunk as a skunk. I don't know where I am. Come to fetch me. As an indication of the positive relationship, that should be a positive indicator that your child, despite that state, still feels sufficiently unjudged by you as a parent that they will phone you. Many children will not do that. So that isn't a positive indication of their behavior. And certainly as a parent, you still need the next day, when the child is sober, they have no hangover, to go through the emphasis of they behave in a way which they should not have. There are severe, or there are consequences to their behavior, and this is what the consequences will be. So I think parents still need to engage in that process. The other is also for the parents to try to have their child engaging in structured activities. Now, those structured activities, I think, would depend upon the family context. Structured activities could range from engaging in sport, competitive, non-competitive games, playing chess, doing jigsaw puzzles, and I'm not going to say structured activities, watching TV, because that's very passive, but certainly getting out there as fast as possible, mixing with other children of their age. The focus really being on getting the child to realize that there are ways and means in which they can engage themselves meaningfully and productively, and through that feel they have achieved so much. So very often when children are engaged, not so much in underage drinking as a kind of experiment, but let us say in excessive underage drinking, it's because they themselves feel that maybe they haven't achieved very much. Maybe they feel that there's a lack of real meaning and purpose in their lives. So assist the child to engage in a behavior which will allow them to feel that they are achieving something, they are making a space for themselves in this very complex world. I think especially important, and it's probably one of the most wonderful joys of being a parent, is for the parent or parents to engage as much as they can with the child, in the child's activities, with their friends. After all, childhood, precious childhood, it's a very short period of time when we look back upon it. So I would say to parents, make the most of those years. Don't just have the child, engage with the child, be with them, be their friend, of course, while still remaining their parent. On that point also, I think, importantly, we all know from our own experience that often passion is what sustains us. Passion is what drives us in hard and difficult times. Passion is what often helps us to develop wonderful marks at school and our career. Also, I'd say then to a parent, try to, with your child, to discover a passion for them and with them. Even if their passion is something which you may have no interest in, if it's their passion, go with it. Encourage the child. It's very important. One would probably discover that, or find that most children who have an ardent passion tend not to engage in, let us say, antisocial activities, antisocial behaviors. They're too involved with their passion. It's a passion that gives them meaning and purpose, can build up their sense of self-confidence.